Aaron, you've been really open about your mental health challenges. Can you just open up a little bit on your story?
About seven years ago, I was in a really, really bad place, like severe depression. And it probably actually started before that, but I actually at the time didn't know what was going on. Just waking up each day, not realising why am I feeling this way, why that energy's low, not really wanting to join in with the lads in training, not want to join in with the banter. But I didn't notice at the time, so I was one of them quite old school person I am, quite...
Keep yourself to yourself.
Yeah, keep myself to myself. And I used to always try and look after everyone else. There was never a time where I thought, oh, should I go and ask, like, tell the doc, I'm not feeling all right here. So I just tried to just push it aside, and I was just getting worse and worse.
Was there anything that pinpointed that, Aaron, or you just started to feel down?
At the time, I was just, like I said, feeling lower and lower, not things, and again, then to get to a stage where you can't even get out of bed. Just not want to be around people, just want to be in the dark, not want to see anyone. And I was just putting on a mask, so I could walk into a room and you'd think he's fine. I could go in and go, oh yes lads, you all right? Nice one. Do my training and get off. But then I'd go home and literally just get back in bed. And I did that for a long period of time. And it got to like just before when I was at Everton, probably the last 10 days of that, honestly, I was struggling to get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't function.
At what stage did you know it's mental health and not, I'm just having a bad few days? How long through did you realise this was something serious?
So at the time, I'm just like, oh, this will pass. I'm not sleeping. I'm not enjoying football. I'm not enjoying off the pitch. I'm not even enjoying, like I said, a night out or whatever with the lads anymore. By the time, I'm just like, this will pass. I'll be all right.
Do you think that comes down to the competitive brain in respects of us playing football and saying, I just got blasted through this?
Yeah.
Do you think that plays a part?
100%. And I was just like me, I'll get through this. I don't need any help. I'll deal with this. And I'm one of them as well. I didn't want to put it on anyone else. Didn't want to ring my dad. Didn't want to ring my family. I've got good friends, good family, good mum and dad. And I was like, no, I'll sort this. And then got to a stage where I was like sports. Like I said, I couldn't get out of bed. So eventually, like I said, I got assessed and I was sectioned. I was literally put in hospital. I still wouldn't have gone in. And that's what I tell people to this day. Like, if I didn't get sectioned, I probably wouldn't be here having this conversation. So, like I said, they done me so much by actually putting me in the hospital.
How tough did you find it to speak to someone about it, and who was the first person you spoke to?
So obviously the club realised I wasn't even making training anymore. So the doc comes round, they start sending people to assess you. I didn't want to have conversations with them. I couldn't even grasp it. I was so far gone, honestly. My mind was literally on a completely different planet. Like, it's such a scary place to be in because you can't rationalise actually what is going on. Do you know what I mean? You just can't figure out what.
So you see when you say that then, Aaron, what would you say to people now?
Yeah.
When you say, at what stage of this point where you are now, where you say you need to speak to somebody at this stage?
Yeah. As early as possible. Once you start to realise there's something going on. So I've worked back now, I've worked with therapists and stuff. One of the biggest triggers for me was sleep. So for some reason at all, I'd started to really struggle with sleep. That was one of the first key pillars. I always say to people, how are you sleeping? So if I speak to people now, I say, how are you sleeping? Because that's normally a sign of that something in the mind's not going right.
Right.
And that was one of the things, because I was one of them who could sleep anywhere.
Right.
Any afternoon, any night, I would nap, I would go finish training, 2 hours nap, go to bed, 12 hours. And all of a sudden I was going to bed and literally just couldn't sleep. And that was one of the first warnings. After that, it was like didn't want to join in with stuff, didn't want to even go training.
What about food? Was you still eating and stuff?
It affects everything. Jesus. So then you get to that stage, by the end point, literally you're not doing any of it. So you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not exercising, you're not joining, and then it's just a spiral.
And I remember reading or seeing it come up on about your career, but then there's situations that happen in your career that really bring it back to reality and bring it seriously. I've done a couple of shows on mental health and stuff, and you're at Everton, and I remember reading or seeing it come up in the media about you suffering with mental health issues, and I was like, Hazard, no, this guy's just calm, cool, collected, like nothing bothers him really. But it really made me realise that you never know what is going on behind that mirror. You know what I mean? That facade that's put up in front of the players. I'd love for you to just talk us through the situation of where you got to that moment where we're seeing it in the media.
So this is the thing. So at the time, I say this to people all the time, I hadn't really seen it start happening until I'd done the work after. So working backwards, I started to realise, okay, this stemmed when I was still in London. So I started to realise, looking backwards anyway, I was going out a lot more, I was drinking a lot more, I wasn't enjoying things as much as I should, including football. And yeah, for some reason, and I didn't know nothing about the mind then. Like I said, I've done loads of work on it now.
You weren't talked about, was it?
It wasn't talked about. So you didn't feel like, so I wasn't speaking to anyone about it. Just noticing little things, not sleeping properly. And I could sleep anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Before this, I could sleep anywhere. So, and I didn't notice at the time. So I'm just thinking, oh, this is the new, like, maybe I'm just having a tough period or whatnot. I'm not sleeping.
Were you on sleeping tablets and stuff like that?
Nothing like, I wasn't taking them like that, but before a game sometimes, on a Friday night, but nothing like, oh, I need sleepers every day. But I just started to notice that for a long period now that I'm not enjoying nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not joining in with the banter. I'm finding it hard to get to training. And it spirals quickly from finding it hard to literally finding it hard to get out of bed. Do you know what I mean? To them levels. And people that, like I say about depression, and I didn't see it coming. And that was the scariest part about it, is I've not seen it coming. It's creeping. I went to Everton and it kind of masked it because I moved there and it got like a buzz again. But it already started, it was already deep when I was in Tottenham. And so that gave me the buzz again. I'm playing this new environment, I'm back closer to home, seeing my people a bit more. So I kind of got through that period, but it was just painting over the cracks really. And then eventually I signed with Everton. I went back there and I started to notice like, this is getting hard again. And I'm just not sleeping. I'm not finding it hard to get to the training ground. And like, for me, that's like I love going to the training ground. It's the buzz driving there. And like, I'm getting there and I just want to go home. I can't really engage with people. My body feels like you get to a stage where you're not there anymore. You're literally just a shell. Obviously, that's towards the end of it. And it spiraled and spiraled, where I was literally was not going to training. Literally missing days, 3-4 days at a time.
So the club ringing you up like?
Yeah, where are you? So at first I was just saying I'm ill, I got the shits. Like, because I actually didn't know what's going on myself. And then my brother's gonna be like, what's up? I was like, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool, man. Just not being well, man, not feeling good. But I was always that person as well. I could go into, you do it for so long that you can walk into a room and half get away with it. Do you know what I mean? So I could come in here and pretend everything's, I'd be like, hey, you all right? Join in, have a little bit and go. I would never stay around for long, do you know what I mean? Because it was hard to keep it up for long periods of time. But you can only do it for so long. And eventually, like I said, it got to a stage where the doctor's ringing me up, coming to try to see me. And I'm at a stage where, like, obviously I'm sleep deprived, like, to ridiculous levels, where I've not slept in days. When I'm talking, like, literally, I'm waking up to try to get to training ground, trying to have 2-3 coffees before I've even left my house, just to try and get in the car to drive to training. And it gets to a stage where you can't no longer do it anymore. And obviously with the sleep deprivation and feeling that way, the imbalance of chemicals, all the stuff I know now, which I didn't know, your mind starts telling you crazy things. It got really quickly to literally, you're suicidal real quick. And yeah, you don't know, I didn't know who to turn to, what to do.
Did you get to the root of what was causing it or what the triggers were?
At the end, after working back, it was just a build-up. So, like I said, I had no real trauma. Don't get me wrong, I had a few things going on in my family, but nothing crazy. But it was affecting me, obviously. There was football situations, I was in and out of bad relationships. But like I said, to this day, it was still just a slow build-up of just being unhappy. I look back and I was like, well, maybe I broke through too early. I've had so many highs so early in my life. Maybe it's partly to do with that. But it was just a slow build-up and not understanding how the mind actually works. And it's funny, people don't realize, like I tell people now, like once you don't sleep, the effect, to me, I tell people the sleep is the biggest thing in the world for you. The most important. If I would have looked back now and said, could I have picked it up and stopped it?
Is that why you're on this now?
The will controls everything. I'm on everything. But yeah, the sleep one was the biggest spiral with everything, because you go from not sleeping properly. Once you don't sleep, you don't have the same energy, you don't eat properly, you don't want to get outside, all these things what are good for you, like getting daylight, getting fresh air, exercising, all these things what releases the good chemicals for the mind. But I didn't know any of that. I know it all now. But I didn't at the time. And yeah, man, like I said, people that realize when I got sectioned, I was honestly in the stage of like not wanting to be here, trying to kill myself to that stage. So
getting sectioned, how does that happen? How did that happen?
So obviously club doctors come to see me. I'm literally like, no, I'm not speaking to him. This is the club doctor. So eventually they send a woman, I don't know, if like a psychotherapist to come and evaluate me and see me. and she was just chatting, and I was at the stage, like I said, you could have a conversation with me, and I wouldn't be able to take hardly any of it in, because I'm pretty much not there. So I was at my brother's house, and I was like, no, I need to go home. So she was chatting to me, I said, I need to go to the shop. And I tried to like just head back to my house on foot. And they called the police. So the police come, picked me up, took me to the hospital. I had to get evaluated again, and it was like, we have to put you in help. And yeah, that was it really. At the time, I didn't know what was going on, but that's how I was sectioned. And
Are you like resisting, or are you just?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I want not even resisting. It was like, I want to go home. I'm like, I'm cool. I want to go home. Like, I'm just tired. I want to go sleep. And it was like, nah. Then I didn't even know what's going on. They come in and give you a piece of paper like this, basically, and you be put on a section 2. So section 2 then is also, you cannot leave until the doctor says you're cool. So obviously I get put into hospital, but you're not allowed to leave until the doctor gives you the all clear. And also because I was suicidal, you're on the really high risk, and you're in the high risk zone in the hospital.
Wow.
So,
it's so funny because I like the way certain clubs are trying to like deal with it properly now as well. So I've recently seen Lau Foster at Burnley. I don't know if you saw, like, did they lean on you sometimes, because now you're such an ambassador, because you also spoke about you're involved, right, in is it a charity that you're involved in, or is it
no, I'm working with a platform at the minute. It's not fully done yet, but that is the aim. I've had these conversations. So I did reach out to this was after I heard about Lau Foster, so I spoke to the physio and said, listen, if he needs to speak to me or needs any, just even wants to have a chat, I'm here, I've been there, type thing. Obviously I don't know his issues, so I might not be the right person, but I'm there if he just needs someone to chat. And I've had these conversations with numerous players, especially since I retired. And even at the back end of my career, players started to come up to me with not big issues, but smaller issues which were getting worse. And I felt I was helping them.
What about someone like Dele Alli, who we've seen recently come out?
Yeah, so Del is an interesting one, because obviously he was with the same agent group. So they knew there was something wrong, but no one really knew, because he wasn't really saying anything about it. He was just trying to deal with it. It's a bit like me.
Which is normal.
Normal. You can mask it. Like I said, when you've done it for a long period of time, you can put that mask on in that room. You can go into any environment and get away with it. Do you know what I mean? To a thing. But then you go home and it's literally like, wow, that takes a lot out of you. And to keep doing it takes a lot of you. So I reached out to Del. We shared a few texts, a few messages, and it got to the stage where it was, I'm here if you need, type thing. But he was going in to get help, which he spoke about after. So I never got to sit with him, but he knew I was there. He's got my number still to this day if he needs me. But it's a tough one. As I said, since I have retired, I've been looking at that, and I've sat down with the PFA. Well, I haven't sat down with PFA. I sat down with the Premier League. I sat down with Sporting Chance. I spoke with Michael Bennett, who runs the mental health side of it at PFA. And even for me now, they're not doing nowhere near enough.
No.
And I literally sat with them for a good hour, and shared what I felt needed to be done, and basically how we could try and basically help these players.